Good morning, Twyla from Twyla's Totes. Today I am doing a new pattern from Sew Yours. It's called the Compact Clutch Wallet, and it's so cute. Let me show you. This is my practice one. It has this little closure. Melissa's going to be selling these. Not this particular one. This is one I got on Amazon. But I think the ones that she has are going to be nicer because this one's not as nice as I thought it would be. But anyway, on this one I used the cork from So Many Creations. And the inside lining is waterproof canvas from Sew Yours. And it has a zipper closure for coins and things, a slip pocket, two like ID wallets, another slip pocket area, and 10 credit card slots. And it's really thin. It's really thin, lightweight, except for the weight of the hardware. But that was my practice one. So I'm going to do another one today for the tutorial. This one I'm using is material from Sew Yours. This is the Black Velvet Floral. And to me, it's got a lot of navy in it. I don't know if you can see. So I'm using this more navy suede type material. I don't know if it's suede. Kind of feels that way. My cute little Heartwood and Hide tag. Okay, but I went with, what was this one? Option 1 exterior. There's 4 different options that you can do. She's got just the plain, and then option 1 over here is the one I'm doing. Then you've got another option where you have a solid. That was the one I did on my practice. And this one you have the stripe in the middle. Okay, so today we're doing option 1. And this is a fairly quick-ish, so I guess you'd say. Didn't take very long to cut out. Oh, my lining is it's kind of a lavender color. This is the Renew waterproof, or no, this is waterproof canvas light, I think, from Mormino. And I'm doing gold, lavender and gold zipper. Okay, so I went ahead and sewed this on so that I could get, you need some Decaville Heavy, so that I could go ahead and get that ironed on and set before we got started. Okay, so let me get you guys down here so you can see what we're doing. I think you're gonna like this one. Okay, how does that look? Does that look good? Okay, let me put my instructions over here. And we're going to start with the lining part. The exterior, I did Blue Sapphire thread from Saya Swag. And for the interior, I've changed it to the Purple Rain from Saya Swag. And then when I do my final top stitching, I'll switch back to the blue. Okay, what we're going to do first is the credit card pieces. I thought about cutting these off camera, but I wanted you guys to see how they go together. In the pattern, she has the small credit card slot piece. So if you don't have a continuous strip of your material, you can use that and cut your 10 slots. Or you could do it this way, where you cut one long strip, and we're going to top stitch the folded edge and then cut our slots. Okay, so we're going to do it that way. And you just have to pay attention to your seam allowances, and your measurements for each part of this. Okay, I'm just going to fold this in half. Let me get situated here. I'm just matching the raw edges. You want to use a material that's non-fraying for the lining and the exterior, because it's written for non-fraying fabrics. So I tried the first one in cork. I really liked how it turned out. My only situation was there was a little bit thick where all the credit card slots are. So when I went to put on the clasp part of it, it was a little bit snug. I kind of had to shove it down in there. but you know, they were from Amazon, so I don't know how well the quality of compared to. I have some coming from Melissa, the ones that she sells, and she's also selling, when she did this pattern, a ripstop fabric for the lining, which I have that coming too, and I'm really excited to try that. I haven't used that before. I'll have to test a piece because I don't know if my machine's too strong for it, if I'll have to use a different machine for the inside, but we'll see. Okay, so you just want to match all your edges, you know, just to make it straight, because you need to have your pieces lined up well. Okay. Then I'm going to top stitch on the folded side. Okay, now this piece I have cut is probably way longer than what I need, but I just cut it. And whatever I have left, I could use it for another wallet. But I just cut the length of the fabric instead of using a measurement. Kind of like you do when you're doing a crossbody strap. Okay, now we're going to take this piece and we're going to cut it down into our 10 credit card pieces. So I brought my ruler over here, or excuse me, my rotary cutter over here, so that I could cut my pieces. Make sure you check your measurements so that you're cutting all of them the right length. My first one, there was one that I miscut. It wasn't the length that it needed to be. Okay, so just get those cut. Oh, see, gotta pay attention to that. That one I went off a little bit, so I'm just gonna square that up. I guess I need to change my blade. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do this again. Pay attention to your there we go. Do I have 3, 5. 6. 8. 4. Nine. One more. One more. I'll double check. Make sure. There we go. Let's see, I've got this little bit left. Okay. Next, we're going to take, what is it called? Okay, we need our credit card lining piece. I know it's in here. There it is. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we have a zipper pocket. We have our credit card lining piece. We have a piece of a binding, and then we have our slip pocket. Okay, what I'm going to do with the credit card lining piece is I'm going to use this piece to mark where my card slots are going to line up. There's marks on the paper so that you can go through and just mark your piece. Okay. Make sure when you get ready to sew these on that your bottom piece, the section down at the bottom, is larger, I guess you'd say. Hold on, let me show you. Okay, I've got them all marked up the sides. See? And the bottom is this section right here where it's larger from the bottom to the first mark. On my first one, I wasn't paying attention and sewed the first one on wrong way around. Okay, we're going to take one of our slots and line it up across the bottom, and it should come to that first mark where that we've marked on the piece. Okay, and we're going to sew across, top stitch across the bottom there, just doing your little 1/8 inch. Okay, done. Now we're going to take the next piece, okay, slide it in behind that first piece and go to your next set of lines. Move my hand out of the way so you can see. There's my line on either side. There we go. Matching up the side seams or the side edges. Okay, you see that? I'm just going to clip that into place just to hold it. We're going to pull that last one up, the first one we sewed on, and we're just going to top stitch across the bottom. Okay. There we go. Now we've got 2. Okay, and we're just going to continue our way up until we've got all 10 sewn on. I found it fairly easy to, just slide it under, find your marks, lay it down so you know that you've got the right mark. You don't want to slide it up there too far. Okay, and we're just going to continue all the way up. Okay, this way you're closing the bottom of each slot so that the card doesn't slide all the way down. And just make sure you pull up the previous ones so that you're not accidentally sewing through those. There we go. Next one. Oh, I skipped a mark on that side, didn't I? If I skipped it, or I just can't see it. There we go. Two more. We're almost done with this. Last one. Okay, this last one, they're going to be a little bit closer. It's going to be a little bit closer than the others, and that's on purpose. Okay. Okay, now we've got those done. See how pretty they are? Love them. Okay, now once we've done that, we're going to sew. Flip my page and just get to the next part. Okay, now this part is very important when you're looking at your credit card slots like this. See, they're all going this way. The left side is going to be one seam allowance. We're just going to top stitch. And then the right side is going to be a different one. Pay attention in the directions, which is which, okay? So let me see. Let me make sure my left is going to be that one. And I'm sewing from the bottom just so that they don't shift on me. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on the other side, just so they don't shift on me. Hold on, let me make sure where it is. Okay, I couldn't remember where. There we go. I mean, you could always draw a line there if you need to. But if your machine has your measurements, you should be okay. Perfect. I was just double checking. Okay, see? Left side, right side. Now we're going to take our binding piece, which is G3. Okay, and we're going to lay it down on the left side and clip it in place. Okay, we'll use this seam allowance in the pattern. And we've got right sides together of these pieces. Okay, we got that sewn on. Now we're going to pull it to the back side, like so. Just kind of bring it snug around that back side. Okay, and that creates our little binding piece. Now we're just going to top stitch along that folded edge there, or the one closest. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Sew down that side. So we've got a nice finished edge. This is going to create our slip pocket side. So we're just going to pull this up, take your scissors, and just cut that excess off, just to get rid of more of the bulk there. Okay, done. Oops. Okay, now we're going to cut this piece. There's a measurement in there that you need, and we're going to cut the raw edge side so that this is the particular measurement you need. Get my ruler. Let's see. And make sure you pay attention to what it is. Get this other one. I had trouble seeing that one yesterday. Okay. And we're going to line it up next to, or on this folded edge that we did the binding. Find your mark there, or your measurement. Okay. And then we're going to cut this raw edge off. Let me double check. I'm standing up so that I can see properly. There we go. Cut that off. Now you have a nice smooth edge. And it should be like right next to your stitching that you did earlier. Okay. Just move that out of the way for now. Next step. We're going to do the zipper pocket piece. So we've got our zipper. Oh, we're going to also do the clear ID wallet section. So we're working on that side. Let me get my zipper pocket piece, which is E, and my clear. I just threw it on the floor over here, which is H1. It's just a clear piece. Okay, and I'm also going to grab my trim. I know I cut a piece. Did I not cut a piece? Oh, it's in my hand. It's already in my hand. H2 is my trim piece. Okay. Now for this one, I'm going to take some tape. I'm going to do this one first, because this is an option. You don't have to do the clear part if you don't want to. Okay. And I'm going to put some tape on either side. I put a line down the center, and now I'm going to put some tape on either side of that line. Okay, and we're going to take our clear piece and line it up just below that line. Not necessarily right on it, because you need room to fold over the edge. Give yourself some room. I'm going to cut mine a little bit long, but that's okay. Then you're going to bring that other piece over, and you can see through your clear piece, so you can match up your edges of your vinyl here. Okay. Now we're going to top stitch along that raw edge there. I know I'm using the lavender, but that's okay. It'll be fine. Okay, I'm just going to trim off this excess that I did down here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now this piece is going to be attached to, not that one, this one. This is piece F, our credit card slip pocket. Okay, now for this piece, fold it this way. Let me double check that. Yeah. We're folding the wrong sides together. Like we did with our credit card slots. and then we're going to top stitch across that folded edge. Now we're going to take the clear piece that we have our trim on, decide which side you want. I think I want this side. And we're going to clip that to the bottom, matching the bottom. Okay. And we are going to just stitch a center line here because we'll be doing top stitching in a minute when we put all our other pieces on here. Okay, so we're just going to stitch down the center for now. Let me find my center. Okay. I need to remind myself. Is it again? Okay, there it is. Okie dokie. Hope you guys can hear my kitty. She's over there snoozing away. Oops, didn't even mark it. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one, no wonder. There's no ink in that one. Let's do this again. There we go. That's better. Put this back on real quick. Oops. Okay. Got our divider cut. Now we're going to take this piece, and I'm using the number 5 zipper because I didn't have any number 3. So we're going to put some tape on the back side here. Okay. We're going to remove that backing. Now we want, when we're looking at the front side, we want our zipper going to the left. So I'm going to place this on here, and the zipper should be the exact length of the piece here. So I'm just going to center it in the, there we go. There we go. See, the exact length. And I'm going to sew from end to end here. No, I'm going to sew from the short end. We're going to go down across the bottom and back up. Okay. Make sure your zipper pull stays out of the way. There we go. Now what I didn't do in the other one, which I forgot to do, is we're going to pull back and cut, trim down this zipper tape here. Okay, because we don't want all of that in the next steps coming up. Okay. Trim that. And I'll burn the edges. Just to make sure they're sealed and don't unravel. Okay. Got that done. Now we're going to put these pieces together. Our ID wallet or ID section is going to go on top of here. We're just going to match up the bottoms. Okay. Just making sure I got my edges nice and even. There we go. Okay, for the next part, did that. Okay. And we're going to sew around the 3 sides to make sure everything's attached together. Okay. And we're just doing the little top stitch. Okay, got all that done. Now we're going to take this piece, and there's a measurement. We're going to grab our lining piece, okay, and there's a measurement you need for the front side. Pretty sure, let's see. And it is, okay. And I'm going to draw on the from the shorter side, from one side. We're going to measure up, make our line. Just make sure you've got your ruler set. Okay. Make my line. Okay. Double check that. Yep. Now we're going to take the zipper pocket panel that we've done. We're going to place a piece of tape on this line, just above this line. So I'm looking at this end of it. Okay. So I'm going to put a piece of tape just below that line, because our zipper is going to lay right up against that line. Okay. So now right sides together, we're working with the zipper side. We're going to lay that right on that line. Make sure your zipper pull is out of the way. There we go. Edges are lined up nicely. So we're looking at the back side. When we stitch this down, then this will fold over to create our pocket. Okay. And we're going to sew all the way across. Make sure your zipper pull is out of the way. go. Now we're going to flip this down and match up our bottom corners here. Okay, and gently, you're folding that edge up, I guess, or on itself, or I don't know how to explain that. Hold on, let me show you. Get my bottom matched up down here. Okay, you see inside there? As I gently pull this, the seam is going down into the zipper pocket, and it'll lay nicely so that the zipper isn't bulky inside there. It's laying kind of flat, I guess you'd say. See? So it's laying kind of flat in there. There we go. Now we're going to sew around the 3 sides again to close up our pocket there. Let me check my bobbin real quick. Might need to get another one. No, I'm good for a bit. Now the one I did yesterday, I only needed 1 bobbin. Okay, we're just going to sew around the edge there. Oh, well, that didn't like that, did it? My top thread broke. Okay, put this back in here. Hold my threads better. Oh, it's not liking that. Oh. Hold on just a sec. Okay. My bobbin decided to get all weird. Let's try that again. There we go. There we go. That looks good. Okay. See? Got it all sewn on. And this is our zipper pocket. And then we've got our 2 card slots. Okay. Now, on the other side, hold on, let me see if I have another. I don't. Okay. Now we're going to take our credit card piece. Okay. See, we've got our slip pocket, 2 ID pockets, and our zipper pocket. Our credit card piece is going to go on the other side so that we have our slip pocket here. Okay. We're going to match up those corners, those edges. And then we're going to sew around all 3 sides like we did on the other piece. Okay. There we go. Now we've got our credit cards sewn on. We've got our slip pocket here, and then our other side. Okay. Now, to get it all together, I'm going to change my colors real quick. Almost finished up that one. Okay, I'm going to grab my sapphire blue. See, we're pretty much done. We're just doing the outside, and let's see, we're not even at an hour yet. We're going to do the top stitch the outside and put our clasp on. So let me get this rethreaded real quick. With my blue. Otherwise, most of the time I would have picked a color for the inside so that I could use the same thread throughout, same color, but I didn't have a blue that I thought would look good with this. So I decided to do kind of a pop of color for the inside. Keep getting my scissors in the way. Come on. Yeah, the hardest part of this might be putting your clasp on. The one I did yesterday, like I said, I had a bit of an issue. It wasn't bad, it's just the thick parts didn't want to cooperate. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now we're going to take our inside piece and our wallet. This section, this piece here, I don't know if you saw this little tail here, this is going to go on the end where the credit cards are. It's kind of just a security blanket thing, I guess you'd call it, for the credit cards so that they don't fall out. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm matching up the edges, and I want my nameplate to be where the ID part is so that the tail will cover over the credit cards. Okay, and I'm making sure that I've got it inside the line that I drew for my interfacing. It's where the interfacing sits in there. Okay, there we go. We'll do both ends. She has you draw lines on this lining piece because we're going to fold that over our lining pockets here. Okay. Now we're going to sew, top stitch the short edges here and here. Okay. And you won't see this color thread through here because we're going to be right here at the top, and that's where our clasp is going to go. Okay, there we go. Now, I should have put tape on there already. Now I'm going to put tape, but you might want to do it before. I'm going to put a piece of tape right along that edge on both sides, not on the tail. I mean, across the bottom of the tail here, but not the long part. There we go. See where I put my tape? Across there, across there. And we're going to remove the tape, or the backing for the tape, and we're going to fold these edges in over our lining piece. Okay? It's going to get kind of thick right there on the edge, depending on which option you've done. Just use your clips, clip along. There we go. See? Okay. And we'll do the same over here. Move that backing. I'm going to fold that down over. And we're going to top stitch along that edge there. Oh, I got a piece of clear that's kind of poking out. There we go. Okay. Now this is where it's thick because of all the layers you've got going on here. Okay. My tail's a little bit long. We'll cut that down in a minute. We're going to top stitch right along here. We've got one side done. Looks good. Let's do the other side. Move that tail out of the way. Here we go. That looks good. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. Okay, and this is a bit long. You can tuck it in to this last one here. I'm just going to cut maybe an inch off the bottom. That way I can still tuck it in there if I want to. Okay. How it's gonna look, isn't it pretty? Oh my goodness, it looks so pretty. Okay, Now let's get our hardware piece. And I have this little magnetic bowl that I like to use so that I don't lose all my screw bits. Okay. Comes in two pieces. You want to make sure that the screw holes go on the inside of the wallet. Okay. Peel off this plastic here. Just make sure it's not in the way. Will get in the way if you leave it down over the all this stuff just doesn't want to come off, does it? Okay. Now this piece is going to go on the back side where the credit cards are. Okay, we're going to dry fit it. Make sure everything fits in there good. I have to scrunch the ends in a little bit. Right there in the center in this one. That's where mine gets stuck. There we go. That looks good. Okay. That looks good. I don't think I'm going to take that off again. So, now this other piece goes on this end. Make sure, like I said, the screw holes are on the back side, or on the inside. This one should go in a little bit better. Should. Maybe not so much because those ends are a little bit tight. Let me see. Let me get my little seam roller, see if I can squash that down some. Let me get my little hammer out. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully that smushed it down enough. We're going to slide this one in on this end. Come on. It's getting caught on. Yeah. Okay. Hold on if you can't see me. I'm just trying to get this end in because I need to mark it on the outside so that I can poke the hole. Come on. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit snug there. There we go. There it is. Got it. Make sure that goes down good. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do, now that I've got this on, is I'm going to mark make a mark here so that I can cut this hole out. Okay. And we have to take it off again. Oops. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I have a hole punch that I'm going to punch this hole right here. Okay, so I'm going to do that off camera. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. What I did was I took this hole punch piece I have here, and in my rivet press I have the flat discs, and then I put a piece of the little self-healing mat on it and placed it down, and then gently pressed that so that it would cut the hole without a bunch of banging and stuff like that. But okay, I'm not going to take this off again because it's on. Okay, there it is. Let's close it up and make sure it fits. Look at that. Okay, now I'm going to put the screws in. See, like I said, the longest part of this was getting these pieces on. Excuse me. Got that in. Oh, the other thing I did, which Melissa suggests, after you cut your hole, I did, excuse me, some stitches right along here so that the zipper pocket, when you put change in here, it won't come out through the top. So that just kind of closes that off there. And you don't see the stitches when you have your piece on. Okay? So let me grab my screwdriver. Okay. And I'm going to take my stiletto. Make sure that's nice and tight in there. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of do some little starter holes. Okay. You don't necessarily have to do that, but because the screws are going to hold it in enough. Okay. We'll take our screws. And just screw it down. There we go. And there's 4 on each side. Ouch. I was pressing harder than I needed to. There we go. You want those just below the surface there so that they don't pop out. And then when you're done, just clean up your threads. So just be mindful of the lining material that you're choosing, because it will get thick up here at the top edges. So just to make sure that you've got, you know, that it's thin enough that you're not going to have issue getting the clasp on. That's where the ripstop comes in. That's why I'm excited to try that compared to these others. Got a couple extra screws here. Oh, that's nice. Let's save those for something else. Okay, nice and smooth. Let me put those in the baggie before I forget about them. Okay. Oops. Put my pieces over here so they don't get lost. There we go. We are done. This turned out really cute. I'm really happy with it. Okay, there we go. We've got our 10 credit card slots. Let me get my card out so I can show you. See? 10 slots there. Then we've got 2 ID windows over here. Looks good. Everything fits good. There we go. We've got our slip pocket here, 2 IDs, and our zipper. And then when you close it up, there it is. Oh my gosh, I think this one's my favorite so far. Okay, hold on. Okay, we are done. Let me show you the 2 we have. This one's the cork, and this one is the vinyl with the vinyl overlay. This is the one we did on the video. Look how cute it is. I really like this one. Now I'm going to have to make a bag to go with it. And we've got our inside. Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed sewing it. Look at those stitches. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yep. Definitely going to have to make a bag to match. And here's the other one. And they don't take too long, so that you can, if you want to do a craft fair or something like that, these would sell really well. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed today. I had fun from start to finish with my intro and saying goodbye. We're at what, an hour, less than an hour and 10 minutes. And that's just sewing it up. And it didn't take too long to cut it out either. So go check out Melissa's site. She's got the clasp, which are a little bit different than this. And then she's got ripstop fabric for the lining. And I can't wait to try that. Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.